Hello again, and this is the very first side-by-side interview of the year. This is Anna, my daughter, hence no masks, and we're just going to have a little bit of a chat about Anna's journey in Jesus so far. So we were out walking this week, and you mentioned that it was the anniversary of your baptism, and that got me thinking about this conversation. So you were about 12 when you got baptised.
Yeah, around there,
Yeah, and I know that you've been begging to be baptised for quite a while.
Yes.
But so where exactly did your journey with Jesus begin?
Yeah. Well, I was raised in the church there since birth, and my first memory of giving my life to Jesus was at the age of 6. There was a guest speaker who came to the church, and we were in a meeting, and somewhere through the meeting I fell asleep and woke up later on. I woke up to the response part of the service where people were being invited to give their lives to Jesus, and something within me as a naive 6-year-old got upset because I felt a pull and I want to do that and do the same. I didn't, looking back on it, I don't know why or where that came from, but somebody took me to the guest speaker, and it was there that I decided for the first time to give my life to Jesus and to follow him. And it's been a journey since then. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I remember your baptism day clearly, as any parent would. But you sang a song during the service, and the song had the words that I will never be the same again. I'll never return. I've closed the door. I'm going to walk the path and run the race, and I'll never be the same again. So how significant have those words been to you since that time?
Well, I think when I chose that song for that day, it just, as a 12-year-old, they're nice words to sing on a day like this. But when I look back on those words and my journey, that's something that I have to look at regularly. I will never be the same again. It's not something when I'm 12, that's it, I'm done. I won't be the same as before I was 12. It's just, as we were talking about in Lent, it's been a constant walk with God and walk with Jesus and talking to him and reflecting on my relationship with him as my relationship with him has grown and as I've matured as a Christian. So looking back step by step at different parts of my life and saying, okay, well, that I messed up there, I made a mistake there, and I don't want to live like that anymore. I want to drop that, leave it in the past. And I think that will be, as for any Christian, that will be something that will continue, because as we're encouraged to be more and more like Jesus, just continue on that, putting the things behind us and moving forward in more of what he has for us. Yeah.
And I remember when you were going to university. You'd chosen several different universities. I think you had about 6 choices. 5 of them were very close to home, and one was like miles and miles away at the other end of the country. And that was the one where you ended up being accepted into. And I remember as parents that one of the things that we said to you was, find a church and then don't just sit in the seat, get involved. And we're extremely thankful to God that that's exactly what you did. But can you tell us a bit more about that?
So being raised in the church and in a Christian environment and in a family and a community that loves Jesus, it wasn't alien to me. It was quite natural for me to go find a church. And in my search for a church, my main thing was, where can I get stuck in? Where can I be a part of the family and not just sit there and take part or be a stranger in the crowd? And while I was at university down south in Winchester, I found a church a lot smaller than the church we're in now, 30 people max a week. And I just found the first thing was I was called week 3 to come and manage the sound desk. I've never managed a sound desk in my life, never been anywhere near the sound desk before that, but there was no one else to do it. So I learned there on the Sunday morning how to operate the sound. And I wasn't necessarily involved in the same things at first that I would have been involved in naturally. And I think that was in itself a fantastic experience because it took me outside of my comfort zone, and it helped me to get involved in ways that I hadn't, and to learn skills that I hadn't had before, and to just become part of that community and get involved. And it was fantastic. It was the best way to assimilate to that part of my life and to that part of my journey, because I've got friends who are family, I call them now, friends who are family that live on the other side of the world or the other side of the country, that through that experience, by getting involved in that church community, I'm now a better person for it, and I've close, strong Christian relationships with those people still to this day. Yeah.
You've had a very interesting time. You're still very young.
Yeah.
Well, younger than me anyway. But you've done a lot.
Yes.
So, you went away to university. You were a cleaner in a hospital.
Yeah.
You worked in an ice cream farm.
Yeah.
You learned how to say "move the ladder" in Polish. You did. And you've stuffed cushions inside cushion covers as a job. As well as going to university, there was a time when you were homeless, technically, for a while. You just slept on other people's couches. And you've moved back home, you've been back to university, you've become a teacher, you've travelled, you've been to Sri Lanka and lots of, and South Africa, lots of different places.
Absolutely.
And so out of all of this, because I bet you never imagined when you were growing up that you would, make ice cream or clean in a hospital or stuff cushions in cushion covers. So what would you say is a sort of take-home lesson from all of these experiences?
None of those things I planned or envisioned, or they seemed to just happen. Most of those things you mentioned just happened. It was like I was just stumbling upon them. But when I look back on those experiences and back on that journey, I realised that they didn't just happen. I realised that God's hand has been in my life since the day I was born. And when I was 6, I as a 6-year-old didn't know why I was called in that moment or why I felt that pull, but I know that now that pull was from God and the Holy Spirit, and I know that I didn't just stumble into anything that I've done in my life. Everything I've done or everything that's happened, or every experience I've had, there's been a lesson that God has taught me through it. And when I'm on the other side of the troubled times, or the other side of the random experiences, I've often found that I meet someone who needs advice based about something I've just been through, or a skill I've learned, a random skill I've used in a really random place that it was really necessary for that time. So nothing, when I look back, nothing has gone to waste. Every experience, I believe, was purposed by God, or definitely used by God, and it has shaped me as a person, shaped me as a follower of Christ, shaped me as a friend, shaped me as a daughter, shaped me in every way possible. And I know that all those experiences are why I am where I am. And as I look forward, I know that I will use them experiences, and I look forward not knowing where God's going to take me in the future, but with confidence that whatever he has for me in the future, he's using what I'm going through now for others and for the glory of his name as well. Yeah.
And so, is there a particular Bible verse that you would say is key for you? Something that really encourages you on a regular basis?
Yeah, the verse in Proverbs where it talks about trusting the Lord our God with our hearts, our minds, our strength. That's something that when I was at university in particular, and there was a time when I was like, why am I here? What am I doing? That was something on my walk to work every day. I recited it every day, trusting the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your strength, and lean not on your own understanding, because a lot of the time it doesn't make sense why we are where we are, why we're doing what we're doing. It might not be in your plan, it might not be in your vision, it might be the last thing you want to do or the last place you want to be. But if I know that if I give my whole self to God and I walk in his way, knowing that he's got me, I don't need to understand. I just need to trust. And that's something that even today, when I'm going through some hard times, I've got to lean on his understanding and not my own, because he knows he's got the bigger picture, he's got the bigger plan in hand. So I'm good.
Amen.
Yeah.
Well done. Well, thank you for sharing that with us today, and I hope that you've all been encouraged by Anna's experiences. And whether you're 6 or 12 or 30 or as old as me, not telling you how old I am, or even older, I pray that you will give God a chance to do something amazing with your life. And I want to encourage you today that you can trust God with your life, and that he will use all the different circumstances that you go through for good. And he's a good God. He made you, he loves you, and he's got a great plan for your life.
Yeah.
So today, answer that call like Anna did when she was 6. Give your life to Jesus. You will not regret the journey. Thank you.